Hi there guys, today I wanted to show you something I've found that I think is very cool. And as you know, I've been making an Android game, and it's actually out on the Android market right now. The game is, well, right now it's only 24 levels of pure fun. Just kidding. It's 14 levels of fun. Anyway, if you have watched any of my streams, you would know it's a lot of scripting. So if we look in the scripts folder, as you can see right here, there's a lot of small scripts doing a lot of different things. And I think the scripting is actually what is scaring people off from starting to working with Unity and game programming in general. Of course, scripting is, I think it's the easy way out, because especially in Unity, when you write a script, it's easy to search the huge database that's following with the script, and you have a constant access to all sorts of knowledge you need to actually complete your scripts, even without. Sometimes when I start a script, I don't even have a clue of where to start. I just type in what I want to do or what I think I want to do, and then I just hit search. And yeah, usually it works out. But I've come across something that really makes everything a lot easier. Well, if you have noticed my GUI or my screen has changed layout, well, that's true. That's because I'm using 3 monitors for development. I really found it was impossible to do just with 2 monitors, because I was sitting squeaking my eyes together to read everything. So what you're watching right now is my middle screen. And let me switch to, well, this is my basic gaming monitor, and where I have my main screen in Unity, and you can see everything is right here. Let me switch to my secondary screen. That's this one. You can see it's also Unity. That's where I have models, and this is the play area where I can test the game. And you can see what there's currently is, and I got my console there so I can see any problems ahead of time. And my left monitor, well, let's see the shortcut, that's number 7. There we go. That's my left screen, and as you can see right now, it's open broadcaster software and a few folders and some audio controllers. That's where I usually have tutorials, videos, and or streams going on while I'm developing. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is this new thing. Unity is free, keep that in mind. However, some of the plugins found in the asset store are not free, but they are totally worth the money. Well, recently there was this thing called PlayMaker. It's certainly not free. However, it was on sale, I believe. Let's see if we can access the asset store. No, it looks gray. I kinda doubt it. Oh, it worked. Okay. Well, this is the asset store in Unity. Let's see. Let's just write PlayMaker in the search field. It should show up, hopefully. There we go. That's this one. You can see its regular price is $95. Right now it's 61 euros. And I don't know why they switched between dollars here and euros here, but I think it's something to do with my price calculation, because it's localized to my area, of course, the entire thing. If you can afford it, this is worth getting. Because, well, right now more than half of my scripting is, well, it's rendered useless now. The last 3 levels I've made entirely using PlayMaker and no scripts Well, there is one script I still use, but let me show you how it works. Just a quick overview. I think level 26 is empty. Yeah. Let's just create a plane to work on. There we go. Let's reset the plane to 0. Let's scale it up so we have a hue area. There we go. Delete the main camera, prefabs, add our player and its own camera right there. Make sure it's above the plane. It's not, so instead of moving the player, I'm going to move the plane down to minus 0.3. There we go. Okay. I want to see what we're actually doing, so we're going to add some light, just some sunlight. There we go. And well, let's just add something random. There we go. A few random things. Okay, well, the only thing I mentioned I'm using a script, that's for this block, the end block, the block that's going to end the level. I have a prefab script attached to it that's going to save the player progress, save the level, unlock the next level, and progress to the next level. And, well, it's just easier in scripting. However, I'm going to show you how to do things with PlayMaker. Just really basic. Okay, so let's imagine we have this block. Well, we have a couple of them. There we go. And we're coming along here, and we need to, I don't know, do something to this block. Then these blocks will disappear, and you will be able to move to this block. Something like that. Okay. So this is the player, he comes along, and you want these to disappear. That's our goal. First thing I want to do is, this is my trigger. It can be a button, it can be anything. Right now we're just going to use it as a ball, so he's going to roll into it. Going to delete the renderer because we want it to be invisible. I'm going to place it in front of these blocks, and I'm just going to make it roughly the width of 3 blocks, just like that. There we go. It's called a blank trigger. Right now we're going to rename it to player trigger. There we go. And now we're done. Well, that was easy. Well, not really. When you get PlayMaker, you just have this new menu, and you get this thing down here. And do we have anything on the other screen? Yeah, well, actually on the other monitor I have something called globals values, but we're not going to look into that right now. We're just going to focus on the scripting or replacement of scripting. So we're going to select the trigger. There we go. Right click to add FSM. Add FSM. There we go. This is basically how you're going to do scripting. And the first thing that's going to happen is this thing is just living its own life. Imagine that. And it's just, what do you do when nothing is happening? You're just waiting. Okay, then an event will happen. What is the event? The player will come to you or enter this box. So we're going to write something we can understand in English. That's something like on player enter. Basically when player enters. And we're going to attach that below waiting. It's still not going to do anything, it's just so we can figure out what's going on. But we want this to have some sort of event when the player enters, and we need to do something, give the engine itself some instructions if you want. So we're going to add a new state, and we're going to call this, well, what's the instructions going to be? Well, let us think. Well, we want to remove these blocks. Okay, so let's call it remove blocks. There we go. So when the player enters, it's just waiting, and when the player enters, remove the blocks. Notice that? Nice arrow. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to actually make it work, because right now it's not going to do anything. I'm gonna hit play, and let's see, I think I have to switch to that one. There we go. And you can see nothing happens, and when there's the small text box right here. That's just the listener we just added. We can remove it later, but you can see nothing is happening. Okay. Let's stop that and take a look down here again. When the player enters, we need to do something. So I'm going to click the action browser, as you can see, and it opened this window. What do we want to happen? Well, to check if the player enters, we need a trigger. So let's just type trigger. Oh, it's one right there. Well, we have two choices. We have one to get info. We don't care. And we have this one, trigger event. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. On trigger enter. Yeah, perfect. Collide tag. Well, luckily our player, he is tagged. You can see up here. Well, not this. There we go. Where is it? Player sphere. You can see it's tagged with player. That's just something that's nice to know. So when the player enters this block, do this. It's that simple. So when the player enters, it checks for player. Go to this. So it's going to follow that arrow. While we're here right now, we're just going to look over here to the right. We're going to uncheck that mark called Show State Label. That's the text box in game. We don't want that. Anyway, we're going to follow the arrow to the right. There we go. And we're going to add an action, because now the thing is over here. Let's just hit play. And take a look down here. You can see it's green. That basically means it's just waiting for something. And I'm now going to mark the ball. I'm going to do it like this. Drive the ball into the square. So what's this area right here? I'm going to move it up now. Slowly. There we go. That one turned green. But there's no instructions. So let's add instructions to that block. Action browser. So what do we want to happen? Well, we want to remove the barrier. Well, we can move it by animation, or we can just remove the blocks entirely. And I think we're going to start with removing a block. We could type remove, but as you will see, you can see you get two options. Those are not the things we want to work with. There we go. Well, sorry for the weird audio cutout. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, as you can see, these are not the things we want to work with. We want to remove the... When we search for destroy, game object, nothing showed up. And that's kind of weird, because it should show up right here, because that's actually a game object we want to work with. However, let's just search for destroy. There we go, and you can see it's located under the game object sub-menu. So destroy object is what we want. Hit enter once, and you can see it's pulled down into this area right here. Okay, basically what it's doing, it is asking what object to destroy. Well, destroy the middle barrier. There we go. I'm going to click play, and we're going to test if it works. There we go, you saw the middle barrier being destroyed. If you're wondering about the sudden naming of blocks, well, I had a weird crash, and I was unsure how far my video got before I restarted. So I think the only thing you missed was me naming the blocks. So you can see we have this one named left, this one named middle, and this one named right. That's why I was able to take one into that. But now we're able to destroy one block, and basically we can just copy paste this as many times as we want, or have different events. So let's just try that. Let's try to move the block as if it's animated, but not really. slowly moving. Because if we're going to use the set command, it's just going to magically disappear here and magically appear somewhere else. Not ideal. Open the action browser while the trigger is still selected, and we want to move the object. So we type in move, and you can see we get a few different things. They may be confusing, but just imagine what you're doing. We're moving an object from a position to another position, and we have two things here. It could be one of these two. You can see this one is called from, and the other one is called to. However, we're just going to work with this one too, because I know how they work, and this is basically what we want. So we're going to hit enter. This has a lot of options, but we're not even going to use half of them. Maybe 4 of them. So first thing it's asking for is the game object. Well, right now it's set for owner, and we don't want that because then it's going to move this trigger. So specify game object, left barrier. We're going to move the left barrier. That's this one right here, this block. Then the ID, we don't care. Transform position is basically where should we move the block to? Oh, well, an easy way to define it is just to place a invisible block where you want the target to land. So let's put this one right over here. And we're going to remove the render so it's invisible. And you can see it's checked as a trigger. That's not necessary, so we're going to remove that as well. It's named blank trigger, but let's just call it target location instead. That's just so it's easier for me to recognize in this list. Okay, so the barrier left, transport to target location. Okay, let's just look through this before we go any further. Time. It takes 1 second. Well, let's make it 2 seconds so it's nice and slow so you can see what's going on. That's basically going to turn the block so it's looking at the direction it's moving. Let's just leave it on and you can see why we don't want that. But the path, yeah, sure, why not? We could make a path for it, but we're not. It's going to take the direct route. Events, start event. When this animation starts, you can enable something. When it's done, enable something else, maybe a sound or particle effects or something cool. Okay, let's test this. Press play and check out the block up here. Moving up slowly. You can see the sudden turn, it turns instantly. There's no slow rotation, so that's one of the reasons. If you're going to make something face the direction it's going, you need to make it turn first. So turn that look at off and try again. And it's just going to move over like that. Brilliant. The last possible way to remove a block, well, those are the 3 I use the most. It's active. I'm going to deactivate the block. And you can see when you type active, you have the option of activate game object. Well, even though the command sounds positive, you can also work them as a negative. So, well, not negative as in a bad way, but negative as in the opposite way. Just like before, game owner, specify game object. That's going to be the right barrier this time. Activate, it's activated by default, so we're going to deactivate it. And recursive means if it has any children, you can see this one has children, it's going to deactivate all of them. Well, sure, why not? I'm going to hit play, move up. And as you can see, it has the same effect as destroy. However, as you can see over here, it's still present in the game, meaning it's using up memory or all kinds of resources. So if you want to make sure your game is lightweight and you have a lot of objects that's going to be destroyed, or appear to be destroyed for the player, actually destroy them from the scene as well. It really helps. And that's basically the PlayMaker add-on for Unity. I think it's amazing. If I had to do the same thing with scripts, I think I would have done it in just a single script. I would have wrote something like, it's called it remove barrier, and just have done the same thing in there for 3 of them. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this quick intro to PlayMaker, and if you would like to see more tutorials, let me know. And if you absolutely hate the Unity tutorials, also let me know, so I can kind of adjust my content creation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.